a pact that is going to look at all the value chains, the market, access to finance, and we are going to map. I think Federal Ministry of Industry has picked 6 zones across the country. We're still going to work with the private sector to develop this. Innovations, science and technology. In this area, we are going to develop a good system for innovation, mainstream technology and upgrading, and then this we are going to work with Ministry of Science and Technology and other institutions. The small hydropower, I've mentioned before, we have a small hydro center here in Abuja. We are going to strengthen the center, and we are going to work with private sector organization and government to develop more renewable small hydropower. We are going to develop more biomass center for renewable energy. Already we have one biomass center that we are developing in Ebonyi State. So, and we believe we are going to deploy more across the country. Under the country program also, we are looking at energy and environment. We support the development of policy and regulatory framework. We strengthen the national capacity for environmental management, effective implementation of multinational environment agreement. This, of course, we are working with Ministry of Environment to actualize this. Program monitoring and evaluation, of course, in all what we are doing, we believe that to really get the result, there must be effective program monitoring and evaluation to know whether what we are doing, we are focusing on the right direction. And between now and 2023, we hope to get a very positive result. So far, I think for UNIDO, that is what we have done to support the SME and utilizing the SME space in Nigeria. And I hope with all of you, we can work together to achieve effective results. Thank you for listening.
Please, a resounding round of applause for him again, please. Where they are going to develop SMEs. Just like we all know, SMEs are the future. Like today in America, SMEs, they are the foundation of the growth and development in America and in any part of the world. So we also have to key into this. He mentioned a number of opportunities. He also talked about the fact that in the 21st century, we need to use the right technology. We need to promote collaboration. We need to work together to ensure competitive edge, to ensure profit maximization, and reduce costs. I will want to emphasize and dwell on the issue of opportunity. For us, we live in an environment where we look at things that there's so much problems, there's so much challenges. All these problems are really not problems. They are opportunities for us to survive. They are opportunities for us to plug in and create something and create impact, make impact, and create business from it. So in essence, these problems are challenges, and for every challenge, there's an opportunity. And for every opportunity, there is responsibility. We must be responsible for something. We must be doing something just like the B2B Nigeria is doing. Please, a round of applause for Mr. Francis Oko. So we're moving to the next agenda before we get there, talking about opportunity. If opportunity doesn't knock at your door, or if any opportunity doesn't knock at your door, please create a door of opportunity. All of us like, opportunity doesn't come. I was with a friend yesterday. I told him, I said, you are a teacher and you're about to get married in the next few months. You don't have an apartment to put your wife. You don't have a job. I told him, I advise you to postpone this marriage. He said, why? I said, the reason is this. No matter the love, when you get home, you are going to fight. Perhaps the marriage might even just collapse in few days or few weeks. Women are excellent people, but the fact that there's nothing for her to eat or there's no abode to put her, you cannot survive it. And I said, okay, my advice for you is start from where you are. You're a teacher, right? This school is not paying well. Move around, get your CVs, distribute it. I told him how so many years ago on VI, I went across all offices on VI in Lagos. I printed my CV. That's over like 10, 12 years ago. I walked from one office to the other. I said, please take me. I can do this. I said, please go around the entire schools in Abuja. You are going to get a job. He said, no, that is not my dream. I said, then what is your dream? He said, I want to be a professional. I want to do masters, but there's no money. I said, that is the issue. I said, pursue your dream. So you've been on for 12, and you've been doing teaching for 10 years, and you said it's not your dream. Then pursue it. I said, okay, there's no money to pursue masters. Okay, go first. Money does not start everything. What starts anything is what? Is what? Idea. Idea rules the world. Idea starts everything. So that's how we ended the conversation yesterday. I said, okay, go and get a master's form. Search for the school. You must start. To get ahead, you must get started. You can't be in the same spot like there's no money, there's no money. I said, okay, what you're going to do is, I've obtained master's form for someone before. I didn't tell him I will pay for his master's form. So I won't feel like, okay, this man wants to pay for it. I said, no, go and look for a master's program. Let's discuss thereafter. I've obtained master's form from someone before. So get started, get doing something. So the point in this story is this. Whatever you want to do, you need to get started quickly. Speed is the new currency of business. You mustn't waste time. Whether you are still at dreaming level, whether you are a thinker already, trying to figure out, you already have an idea, you are thinking about it. Whether you're a storyteller, you're already doing your business. But that's the 4 levels of what? Entrepreneurship. From a dreamer, to a thinker, to a storyteller, to a leader. And why the leader in Dr. Musa Fakokwala? Just to talk to him, meet him, you get something done. So the point is, we must not be on the same top. We must keep improving. We must keep moving. We must keep doing something. And one day, surely and definitely, we'll all get there. Thank you so much for listening. So I would like to take us to the next agenda, which is the business pitch. We have a number of companies that have deliberately decided to pursue their dreams. And they'll be here to pitch to us what their businesses are about and what we could learn from them and opportunities we can grab as we move on. They've been able to build their dreams. And just like someone said, build your dream. If you don't build your dream, someone else will employ you to build theirs. So on this note, I'd like to invite the representative of Eclipse Power, Abuja, for a business pitch. That's the first of it. He's going to take us through 5 minutes presentation. We're going to be very strict with time. So please make welcome the representative of Eclipse Power, Abuja, to take us through what their business is about. Please, a round of applause for him. A resounding round of applause. Make him welcome. Thank you so much for coming. All right, let's do that. So he's going to transfer his presentation to the laptop. But while he's doing that, I would like to encourage us to get ready. I would like to encourage the following organization to get ready. After him, we're going to have night concerts. And next is Moscow Global Multi Limited. But while he's doing that, to save us time, I'd like to move quickly to the presentation by Night Concert. Are we here? Night Concert? Yes. Night Concert is going to give us a presentation for about 15 minutes. Are you ready, sir? It's like, so can you bring up the Night Concert presentation while we're getting ready for Eclipse to save our time? Please, ladies and gentlemen, please would like to apologize for the interception we're experiencing. We're trying to talk to them so that they could reduce their the noise coming from there. Please just bear with us and manage. One thing that's very fundamental is, for me, I've learned so much. I don't know about you. This is a session that is impactful. You must at least take something home and decide to take action from there. Okay? We had night concert here. So in person of Malam Muhammad Jia is a representative of Night Concert. He's going to give us a presentation about Night Concert and what they're doing in that space. Please make him welcome. You're welcome, sir.
Good morning, all. Please permit me to stand on the existing protocols. Time is not by our side. The moderator has just given me 15 minutes. Next slide, please. Okay. So briefly, what we want to do is discuss digitizing the Nigerian SMEs, ease of doing business, space for profitability. The outline of the presentation will be the impact of digitization of SMEs, process, and activities for SMEs, challenges that is facing the digitization process, what government initiative is expecting from government to be able to stimulate the process of okay. The challenge is seeing the slide from up. Okay, I think I can see it. So, next slide, please. So, introduction, just next slide. Let me first of all use this opportunity to bring in the message from my MD, who actually wanted to be here. But unfortunately, she is attending an other pressing engagement. One of the challenges she has is many people doesn't even know what to do with the night concert we have. The communication satellite we have, the government and the people of the country are underutilizing this great asset that the government has paid for. Next slide, please. So, SMEs, Dr. Popola has said, the UNIDO representative has said a lot about it, but you can see how great these people are contributing to our economy. 48% of our GDP is coming, in the last 5 years, is coming from SMEs. Now, for a critical sector that is bringing this kind of contribution to the GDP, it is high time government to pay attention. Because by paying attention and digitizing their processes, making sure that the crude ways they are doing things are enhanced, you can see that it will shoot up even the GDP contribution to above 50%. So this is a critical sector that the government is supposed to give a priority concern. Next slide. Now, digitization process, as we all know, is a process of using digital technologies to change the business model. Gone are the days that we do things in manual ways. It is because of those crude processes, crude ways of doing things that we are finding it really challenging. Digitization is transforming everything in its path, from markets and whole societies to the environment and individuals. It is a paradigm shift where computing resources are available when needed, and you pay for their use in much same way for the household utilities. It is high time that just like Doctor was mentioning, most of people use businesses today, their phones, just for the purpose of communication, while it's supposed to be a business tool. So businesses in Nigeria are experiencing slow and stunted growth due to crude and manual ways of operation that is devoid of digital and advanced processes. Many people, just like our earlier speakers have said, can't even know between their profit and loss. No simple database to be able to do that. Next slide, please. Ease of doing business in Nigeria, just like Doctor have said. Next slide. The World Bank computation of ease of business, Nigeria was ranked 146 among the 190 economies in the ease of doing business, according to the latest World Bank annual rating. The rank of Nigeria deteriorated to 146 in 2018 from 145 in 2017. Ease of doing business in Nigeria is an average of 145.09 from 2008 to 2018. The graph is there from the World Bank rating. The challenging thing is, this is supposed to be worrisome to the government. Why? Because the more people are finding it easy to do their business, the challenges of unemployment, contribution to economy, which is the major challenges that the government is facing, been a thing of the past. The next slide. The impact of digitization processes of SMEs. Next slide. For sure, there is definitely will be an increase in revenue and reduction on costs. Accountability and transparency, because by the time, just imagine you have a tool that will be able to generate, you will be able to compare what you are spending, and you will automate your processes. You will be able to measure your profit and loss. You can see that accountability and transparency in your business will come in. Then you have operational efficiencies in running your business when you digitize. Everything you run, you can see clearly how it is, the people, you can manage the people, you can manage the technology all together. Accessibility to wider customer base. You can be in my village, as far as a remote village, but because you are online, you have a website, just somebody in US can Google and say that you need a particular material, and you reach out to where you are in the village because of digitization. Gone were the days that people pack their things to market. All of us have seen how digitization has transformed businesses. Uber, for instance, Taxify. These guys don't even own cars. They don't even own a car. And they are running a transport business. Why? Glory to digitization processes. Enrich customer engagement and experience. For instance, by the time customers are getting into your business, for instance, you just get a small form that asks you for telephone number, asks you for basic date, maybe date of birth, for instance. What about a customer that is sitting in his date of birth? You see a message from a client, a customer, or a business that he has long forgotten. That will rekindle an interest in that business. A lot of things will be achieved by the time the SMEs digitize and increase in ease of doing business, for sure. When things are digitized, people will not be working tirelessly, doing a routine job. Working in most of these places will now be fun. It will be something that is interesting and really user-friendly. Next slide. Now, what are the processes the SMEs need to follow to ensure that they digitize their processes? And what are the likely tools they will use? Next slide. You can see, you automate processes and streamline your operations. For instance, I have customer. You can just do a small Excel database that allows you to compute everything. Just Excel. And before you know it, will create a lot of impact. You have database of customers and products and services. You can just create a database. And these things, the challenge is, sometimes people look at these things as if they are rocket science. No. Just because you have, the interesting thing now is that even your Android phone can have most of these database tools. Microsoft Excel can run on Android. You don't even need a computer, need a laptop. And you can have a small Excel sheet that has all your customers, has your regular customers. You can keep in touch with them and a lot of them. Web presence, creating a website, something dynamic, that today you have a product, you post it there. You know, the interesting thing about the IT level today is, even if I'm sitting together with my friend like this, instead of asking, how can I locate a place in area 1? What do? Most of us, let's be honest, you ask Google. Yes. And before you know, things pop up. And that is one of the things that you can do by the time you go online marketing. People look for products. They don't just start asking people. What they do is just to go online. Go to Google, type something, where can I get so? It pops up. By the time you have a database, you have an online website, and you already imbued in these things so that Google can pick up these things. Before you know, you'll be sitting, somebody is calling you, I need this particular product, I have seen it in your website, because on search engine, the search engine directs into your website, and from your website, your contacts are there, they call you. Before you know, businesses started, and a lot of things are there. Online marketing, we all know how the online marketing has transformed the business environment. Ordering and paying for goods and services. There are a lot of things we buy today. We never set our eyes with the people that are selling it. And we are using those products. That is the beauty of digitization process. And you can be here in Nigeria and you can be supplying things even abroad just because of digitization process, because once somebody comes in, he can say, well, I will give it to DHL. Before you know, the DHL will send it, and you get your money, they give you your money back. And the same thing you can order. You order something from Amazon. You will be sitting, all you need to do is just to give them the address. You will be sitting right here in your office. There are books I ordered recently. I was doing a PhD research. I have some books that I saw on Amazon, about 3 of them. I ordered, I said I needed it in the next 1 week. And before you know, I was just sitting, somebody just called me that here is the books that I ordered. And that is how all the items you do. Social media, just like Doctor said in his introduction, you can be it is so disturbing that WhatsApp now, people decided to use it for gossip, for hate speech, for Facebook, somebody will just go out there, post his family pictures, instead of making the best use of these tools. These are tools that could facilitate business, facilitate interactions between you and the things that will be productive to your life. So that is one of the things that the areas that the SMEs can use. Data analytics, this is excellent, but it's a bit advanced. This is when you gather the data of a particular process over a time. And you now use to do what we call machine learning for you to be able to predict. And that is why, for instance, it is data analytics that Google, Amazon, if I log on to Amazon today, because of some things that I have searched while I'm doing my research in Google, Amazon will pop up some books for me that are suggesting those books. How did they know? If you go to iTunes today, because of a particular thing that you have done elsewhere, you will see that something that you have interest in. That is what digitization is all about. And that is why data analytics is very important. For instance, you have a customer that he keeps buying a lot from you. You can decide to call the customers that maybe next time, sir, we will be giving you 30% discount. The man will be very surprised because you have seen from your analytics that this man has been a he buys a lot and is frequent and is a consistent customer. That is what data analytics can do for you. Online data storage. Gone were the days when people are battling on how do I have data, my system, I needed to go and take my floppy disk, from floppy disk is compact disk. Now the Google storage is there for you. The online cloud storage is there for you. You don't even need to have a headache of keeping your data. You can just buy a storage, and there are a lot of free ones that you can use. And all you need to do is just to tap into this technology and get the best of it. Next slide, please. Quickly. Now, there are a lot of tools. There are proprietary tools like Microsoft Excel Access, Microsoft Office productivity tools that you can use. There are also free online services. Email, for instance, Google, Microsoft service can give you 7 gigabyte SkyDrive storage. Google, for instance, can give you about 15 gigabyte storage for free. But if you go beyond that, then you will now ask to be paid. You will not be asked to pay. There is also Open Office. If you don't want to buy like a SME, you don't have money to go and buy an official license, go and get Open Office. What Microsoft Office tools can do, Open Office, you can download it free from Apache Desktop Open Office. You can use your word processing spreadsheets and a lot of them. Mail, like Zoho Mail, for instance, can give you 5 gigabyte storage. Next slide, please. Now, you can also have some line of business tools that are particularly, like now you can use Sage if you want to automate your processes and a lot of other tools. Next slide. Now, what are the challenges they are facing? Lack of computer appreciation and knowledge of technological capabilities. They don't even know. The challenge is, okay, they don't even know the tools. Next slide, please. What government can do, because we are talking of technology, next slide, we can see that there is need for SMEs to organize computer appreciation course for SMEs. There is need for provision of power and digital infrastructure to help the SMEs. And the government can make accessible loans. Next slide. One of the key things that is there, just like the UNIDO man said, is data. That is why NIGECOMSAT come in. For instance, NIGECOMSAT, government can make sure that the NIGECOMSAT can provide connectivities in local government areas that are entirely remote, just like, next slide. You can see, why is Facebook providing free Wi-Fi in Nigeria? Why is Google providing free Wi-Fi in Nigeria? There is a reason for it. They want to use it for data analytics. Why can't Nigerian government now say, well, Facebook can only do it in Lagos. Google can only do it in Abuja and in urban centers. But the SMEs are located in remote areas. That is why NIGECOMSAT comes in. Next slide, quickly. In NIGECOMSAT, we have a communication slide that is core band, meaning that we have 4 bands. We have the KU, we have the K, we have the C, and the L band for navigation. Next slide. The interesting thing about it is it has 15-year lifespan. Next slide, please. Time is not gone. You see the coverage. Wherever you are in Nigeria, for instance, our KA beam covers Nigeria up to Niger, up to Cameroon. If you look at even our ECOWAS beam 1, you can see it covers the entire this. This one covers up to South Africa. So whatever business, whether you are in the mountain or you are in any environment in Nigeria, government can provide data to those places through the use of NIGECOMSAT. Next slide. So we have a range of services that we also do. Next slide. Thank you. Then this is it. The SMEs, just as we said in introduction, they can have a lot of advantages. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Now, go ahead. These are some of the things that NIGECOMSAT can do. Next slide. Next slide. Next, the recommendations. What we are saying, SMEs should talk to their peers on other SMEs. They should also establish a culture of innovation, interest. Next slide. On the government side, government agencies like SMEs should organize regular workshops on computer appreciation and digitization process. They should also do more. Government should also do more on electricity and other infrastructures needed for digitization. Government should approve additional satellites so that, for instance, NIGECOMSAT can now go and deploy these things elsewhere. Next slide. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for that presentation. It's inspiring, it's power-packed, and informative. Thank you so much, sir. 2 things he said. In the 21st century, there's no barrier. From the comfort of your home, you can do business with anybody and anyone. So we're moving straight to the business pitch by Eclipse Power Abuja. Please, you're not ready? Okay, while we wait for them, we'll move on to Muscol Global Multi-Limited Lagos. That's the business pitch 2. Please make welcome the representative of Muscol Global Limited Lagos. You have 5 minutes for your presentation. Thank you so much, sir.
Good morning, all of us, ladies and gentlemen. Please allow me to stand on the existing protocol. Muscol Global Multi-Ventures Limited came into being about 15, 20 years ago. And the vision was clear that we need to tap into the opportunities that are bound in the land, because Nigeria, like we see it, is a land filled with and of opportunity. So hence we started Muscol Global. We are into all age. And soon after that, we saw another opportunity opened up. So there was a sister company called Pivot Connect that deals with park. When the Lagos State government had problem that we should reorganize and have a park for our trucks. So we saw this opportunity. We had a land that was big enough to contain all of our trucks and even more trucks. So we saw that yes, this is another opportunity. Hence we went to commercialize truck park. So having said that, Muscol also went to water production. So we have Muscol Premium Water Limited that produces presently not less than 10,000 bags of sachet water per day, and quite a healthy number of bottles per day also. Presently we have Muscol Farms. We are into birds production, egg production, so to speak. We are test running on fish production. So the idea is we are open to and for collaboration. Should anybody be interested in investing in Muscol, our team are ready to discuss because the opportunity is bound in this country. And like this forum, the organizers of this program, this is why we flew in from Lagos to attend this meeting, because we see that a lot of space and opportunity to grow. A lot of us see problem, but in Muscol Global, we see opportunity. Should you want to partner and get the benefits that are bound in the land, doors are open for discussion so we can move this country up together. Thank you so very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir, for that brief and impactful presentation. The essence of the business pitch is for possible collaboration, that everyone here will all agree that collaboration is key for success. So for possible collaboration and investment opportunities. The next presentation is going to be delivered by a friend of mine. He's the marketing manager of Galaxy Backbone. He's a personal development coach in person of Chidi Opala. Please make him welcome. Chidi, you're welcome. Did I give you 10 or 15 minutes? 10. 10 minutes, fine.
Let's see what we can do. Thank you. Okay. Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited to be here to share with you the work we are doing at Galaxy Backbone to help the SME space, and also to help in the development of Nigeria as a whole. I'd like to first of all start by saying that I've been hearing a lot of doctors in the room. I'm not a doctor, yeah, but I'm just a professional who is very passionate about helping people and organizations transform their businesses in such a way that it helps the general growth of the country. I don't know, do I have my slides ready? Okay. I'd like to start by saying that I'm here to represent my MD, Yusuf Kazaure, who could not make it due to other engagements. I'll start with two stories. One is personal, and the second is based on current trends. At the beginning of last year, I had a conversation with a cousin of mine who has a small business he's running, and he's doing well. In the village, he's regarded as one of the richest men in the village, right? But I had said to him and his cousin and his brother that the work you're doing right now, yes, I know you're doing well, but that's not the future. That the future will be for you to take your business from the nuts and bolts it is right now into the digital space, because that's what we are. And they laughed. There's normal businessmen, normal Igbo businessmen. They laughed, And I said to them that you can quote me that in the next 3 to 5 years that you'll call me again and we'll have this conversation and you'll see what has happened in terms of the changes that are going on. That's one story. The second one is one of the CEOs of most of the online platforms had said that they had approached a lady who sells kettles in Balogun Market in Lagos. A lot of us know Balogun Market in Lagos, right? Yes. And this was just a woman who had very minimal education, but she didn't know the power of technology. And she was told to put her business on their platform. And after a lot of back and forth, she agreed. And she noticed in the next 3 to 6 months that if she was making 100,000 naira every week from the sale of her kettle from her shop in Balogun Market, that she was now making 300,000 naira every day from the sale of her kettle through their online platform. This, for me, confirms the International Data Corporation research that was done 1 or 2 years ago, where they clearly stated that those businesses that are doing their business online or have embraced the digital opportunities that are there right now are recording a lot more growth than those who are not. This brings me to the work that we do in Galaxy Backbone. Next slide, please. Next slide. And I'll share with you a bit of who we are as an organization, what we are doing, and how you can partner with us on that journey that we've embarked on right now. Nigeria is an interesting country. All of us will agree. But some of us have chosen to, just like the MC had said, focus on the opportunities that we see around the country and see how well we can help people maximize those opportunities that we see in the country and look through the problems and see how we can help ourselves build effective businesses that will soon turn from being local businesses to international businesses. There's a lot of work going on in government. There's a lot of policy statements that are being enacted. We are not a policy organization. We are just an implementer of technology. So we work according to the way the policies are being written and drafted and approved, and we see how well we can help businesses and government also grow and improve in terms of what they do. There's a lot of work that has gone into what we do, and we'll keep doing that work to see how well we can help organizations. Next slide, please. Galaxy Backbone is an organization of government. We are a limited liability company. We're set up by the federal government basically to help in digitizing government institutions and by extension carrying out that responsibility to other businesses that will care to do that with us. Next slide, please. Then we've done quite a lot in terms of the impact that we've had in government. Currently, we've connected over 90% of federal government agencies. One of the reasons why Galaxy Backbone was set up was to see how well we can break the silos that have been existing in government agencies for a long time. And we've been able to record some success in that area, and we are trying to still do some more work in terms of doing that. We are an ISO certified organization. We have a tier 3 data center. I'll talk a lot more about our tier 3 data center, and then also the work that we are doing around the National Information Technology Infrastructure Backbone. Next slide. this is the map of Nigeria. A lot of us know this map very well. You just saw it in the Unique Gentleman's presentation. Galaxy Backbone has embarked on or through the federal government. The federal government has invested in Galaxy Backbone to provide fiber optics, which is meant to transcend the entire states of the country. We've just completed the first phase of that project, which has seen us lay fiber optics across the 13 states of Nigeria, from Abuja all the way through Akangwa, down to Enugu, through Ijebu-Ode, and back to Lagos. That's the first phase of that project. The second phase of the project has just commenced. That second phase will take us from Lagos through the northern states and back to Abuja, so that it completes the ring, right? So it completes the ring for us. Next slide. We have what is called today the National Shared Services, which houses our Tier 3 data center, and it houses our network monitoring center, and it also houses our network operations center. From these areas, we provide a platform that government uses to provide services to its citizens. Next slide. Our Tier 3 data center is certified by the Uptime Institute. There are about only 4 Tier 3 data centers in Nigeria. Galaxy Backbone has one, and it's the only Tier 3 data center in the whole public sector of the country. And we also have a disaster recovery data center in Enugu. So you can be rest assured that this data center has been running for the past 8 to 10 years, and it has never been down for 1 minute. The data center has been running for the last 8 to 10 years and has never been down for 1 minute. So what we've done with our data center is that we've tried to make sure that it's world class. It fits into the requirements and recommendations of international organizations. That's why we have the ISO 2000 certification and also the ISO 27001 certification. Most of the questions people most times ask us is, okay, you have this data center, but is it secure? And I'm proud to say that security is a very, very core part of what we do in Galaxy Backbone, because of the delicate nature of the work we do for some of those intelligent agencies. So it's important that security is at the topmost of what we do in Galaxy Backbone. Next slide, please. So these are some of the services that we offer. But what we have done and what we are going to be launching in the next couple of weeks is we have looked at the different segments of the market, and we have designed services that are specifically meant for SMEs, right? We've designed services that are specifically meant for SMEs that they can come and pick up the shelf and run with it. So it's 2 areas. You can either come, partner with us, or you can come, take it up, and pay for the services that you want to happen there. So most of these services are around your network, because it's important that you have effective connectivity. So we have, and then we love to say that we're in the business of data, right? We have provided services that you can come and take off our data center. You can come and host your servers in our data center. You can come and collocate with us in terms of whatever you want to do with that. Next slide. We operate around a model called the shared services model. And the shared services model is a model that is used across most advanced countries, where through one model, I'm sure it's quite Herculean sometimes when you go to get your driver's license. You're asked to present a document here. You go somewhere else again, you're also asked to present another document there. So we've tried to work with FRSC, NIMC, to try and bring this under one common platform in which everyone can speak together, can collaborate with one another, so that we can effectively serve the SME market. So the goal of it, really, the benefits is to lower cost, increase security, and provide faster service delivery for the market. Next slide. So I've talked about the OneGov, which is around the next slide. So through this, next slide. through this OneGov, we got an award from the United Nations where we were given a public service award in 2013 for the work that we are doing in terms of digitizing the government. Next slide. A lot of this said already around SMEs, and this is just our own thoughts around it, and what we feel that through the last point over there, through the GBB Shared Services platform, we can now improve relationships between businesses and even the customer eventually. Next slide. Next slide. We are evolving as an organization. I'm rounding up right now. So we're evolving as an organization, and it's very, very, very important for us that we maintain standards. We maintain standards that you can see anywhere you go in the world, and we maintain these standards that can help businesses thrive. We know that if we are able to, if government agencies are able to be much more effective, they can easily work with these government agencies, and they can much more effectively do their businesses. So it's important for us that we are setting some standards to make sure that this happens. We're also interested in the customer. We're seriously interested in the customer, not just the customer, but we're interested in if a company A has this business he's running, that when we have conversations with you, we try to see how can we help you better serve your own customer, so that the value that you present to that customer is effectively achieved. We are big right now on partnerships. Partnership has been talked about from the beginning of this event till now. It's extremely key. It's extremely important, and we are working together with some of our sister agencies, working with a lot more SME companies, IT companies, businesses, to try and see how we can help them digitize their business and create the value that they want to get out of that. The capacity building is key. I'm sure a lot of us, especially for most government agencies. So in the past 2 to 3 years, what we have done is that we've been training every year. We try to train a minimum of 400 personnel in the agencies of government on ICC skills. And currently, we are partnering with Huawei to train on general computer appreciation about 1,000 federal government workers. The objective really is that if the businesses, the SMEs, are working effectively and they want to have certain things to do with the government, they can effectively do that and run with it. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, so we are committed to working with everyone. We are, like I said at the very beginning, we are big on partnerships, we are big on collaboration, and we invite everyone to come and partner with us so that we can help the entire ecosystem and at the end also help the nation thrive in terms of what they do. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well done, Chidi, for that presentation, exposing us to what the Galaxy Backbone has been doing in the SME space and how we can all plug in for sustainability, productivity, and profitability. Please, a round of applause for him again. I've been opportune to visit the Galaxy Backbone data center due to the kind of work I do. It's a world-class data center that you can connect with as an SME. We've been talking about data and information. And those two key things has to be stored around issues of storage, issues of network. He has explained how they are connecting Nigeria to ensure that we're connected to the rest of the world. Like I said, issue around servers, systems, storage, and communication and collaboration services. So they are doing a lot of co-location services that will help businesses to grow. So it can never be overemphasized. Collaboration and partnership is key for survival in the 21st century. Thank you very much again, Chidi, for that exposition. I forgot to say the other time that based on the presentation of Nightcomsat and UNIDO, as well as Galaxy, you can find time to visit their sites to get more information about what they do and how you could collaborate. Before I call the next presenter, I would like to call on the convener of B2B Nigeria. I'd like to say again, this is B2B Nigeria, and we are at the National Economic Dialogue 2019. So I would like to invite the B2B convener, the person of Dr. Mustafa Kokola, to give a brief comment on what has been said so far. You're welcome, sir. Please, a round of applause for him. He's been doing well. Please, more. Give it to him. A round of applause for him. Well done, sir.
Thank you very much. Just to spice up some of the thoughts we've been having and the speech, let me be on the side of the private sector now, and let's start thinking about how we want to engage this government. You know, they are government, and we are private, so definitely we actually need to create an interface. A lot of discussions have been made, and you can see that you don't have an opportunity of asking your question. Am I right? So what we're trying to do is that we're actually going to collapse this into a panelist section. So list your question, list your comment, list your request and everything that you might have for them. All of them are going to be here with us for like pretty much like an hour, and they're actually going to have an engagement. That is the actual dialogue. That's why we call it a dialogue. We need to dialogue with them. We are coming from this side, you are coming from this side, and we actually need to have a conference where we are meeting and we can actually take it further. We don't want to leave this place with only discussions and theories. We actually want to make sure that it crystallizes to an action that is sustainable. So for UNIDO, we actually appreciate them. Do you know why UNIDO is very key to this? Because we believe UNIDO Nigeria office actually serves nothing less than 8 other countries. So if they do that, there are a lot of experience that we can share. There are a lot of solutions that are actually working somewhere. That maybe because we are negligent or we are not looking at that side, we don't believe it can work in Nigeria. So even looking at some case studies, that is why they are here. We need to actually study with them and say, okay, what's working in Ghana? How is it working in Nairobi? What happens in Uganda? Stuff like that. If that's part of the countries that they cover. So when they are giving us that, we are good. Then we can actually leverage a lot of international resources. You know, there are some, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. There are some things that are already done somewhere. So we can leverage that, and that's why they are here, to actually tell us about what happens in the international space around our discussion. We have MyComSat because of our belief in the hugeness of their infrastructure. We have been looking at it that, no, this is a company that in the digitization, they might be very key. So they are proving to us that, yes, they have a part of the cake that they need to cut. So we are bringing back Galaxy Backbone. I mean, looking at their name, Backbone alone. So if they are actually backbone to government, when are they going to start becoming a backbone to private sector? So really, these are issues that I actually want us to be running in our mind. And we're going to have opportunity to dialogue. We are here for dialogue, not anything more than dialogue. So all the CEOs in the house, please be taking note of all these points, and let us see what we want to go home with. Thank you very much for the small section. As we move on, please, okay, nobody's sleeping already. I don't want anybody to sleep. Or are we tired? So thank you very much. So we move forward now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the B2B convener, Dr. Mustafa Kokwola. This event, it's a global event, it's an international event. You can share it on your various social media platforms, hashtag NED19. Again, hashtag NED19. You're on Twitter, you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, you can share it on various platforms. And also, you can also follow us. Yes, it's also going on live. This event, it's going on live. It's a live streaming event. It's going on Facebook and other social media platforms, so you can follow the event. You can share it. The essence of this is for everybody around us to know that something is happening. We might be few here, but like I said in the beginning of this presentation, that every now and then, a generation is called upon to be great. You can be that generation. You can be the instrument that will take us from where we are to where we need to be. The next business pitch is by Smart Farms from the constituted authority state, from the largest city in Ibadan, from the largest city in West Africa, Smart Farms, Ibadan. Please, the representative of Smart Farms, you are most welcome. It's from the state of constituted authority. You are most welcome. A round of applause for him. You don't know constituted authority, you know.
I think I'm comfortable with that because I know every organization here is equally constituted. And for every CEO here is having an authority. So the way it's divorced is another kettle of fish. Once again, let me lean on the existing protocol if it's going to sustain me. To appreciate the convener and appreciate all of us for believing in the convener. And again, for all of us to be hopeful that something that will improve not only our life, but Nigeria as a nation and the black race could equally be launched in Nigeria. It is not enough for the convener to put something like this together. It is equally of all of us appreciating the idea and coming around to encourage lest such an idea fizzles away. So I want to appreciate all of us. For in Smart Farm, we have a vision of becoming a leader in livestock agriculture. And we have decided to take a leg first in cattle, and the passion is into dairy to start with. It's actually thank you. It's actually, Smart Farms was born out of a body. Next slide, please. And you can go ahead. Yeah, it's a product of the burden for a homegrown, scalable animal production farm that hinges on technology. Really, SMAP is an acronym and is all about smart applications. Probably because a number of the anchor guys in SMAP happens to have the ICT background, and we felt for now there is nothing you can do but hinge it on technology. Next slide, please, because I don't have that time. Here we have identified that the dairy line has quite a lot of value chain, which we might not be able to exhaust. Is it the milk? Is it all other value chains that comes through the dairy production? And when we were starting, almost about 10 years ago, the thinking is that, will it thrive like any other business in Nigeria? Does it make sense at all? Do you need to come and waste resources? Realizing that going into cattle is something that is, first of all, very capital intensive. Two, it has a delay of gestation in business. But yet the passion is that if it works everywhere that they are committed, it could work in Nigeria as well. What about the government policy? We realize the government policy is there to take care of the gap that we have in the dairy industry in Nigeria. And as I speak to you now, for the dairy need of a single milk processor in Nigeria per day is over 1 million liters of fresh milk. But for now, they could not get up to 90,000 liters per day. So that tells us that, okay, the gap is there. It's worth trying, even though the challenges might be there. And we decided to move ahead. Now, what do we really need to start with? An average Nigerian cow produces maybe max 1.2 liters of milk per day. How far can we run with this to be in business? So we decided to first of all go into crossbreeding and begin to take artificial insemination as key so that we can get crossbreeds that could really give us increased milk production. And we have started. We are moving into the third filial generation. And the milk production for the first filial generation is 15 liters of milk per cattle per day. So, having achieved this, we felt encouraged that we could continue looking at every other indices that needed to be done as regards the milk quality, the animal stability, the sustainability of the business, and how can we extend the frontier of this very business. Yeah, it's been quite a lot of our experience. We had a few years that we could really not report any success. Why? The reason is just because it was a very critical learning curve. There were times we lost animals. There were occasions learning other research experiences, but yet we could really not quit because, one, we've gotten a success that could be a template and a launching pad for to move ahead. And since we are on that expanse of land, which could house about 500 local cows for now, that we can move ahead. And we went into partnership. Thank you for everybody mentioning collaboration and partnership here. We decided to look at it that if we're going to be in business, real business, in the immediate future, then sustainability is the issue. How could we sustain this industry? Initially, even the so-called almighty ministries of the government could not believe in the idea. And the idea is that, the animals won't survive. It won't survive. People have tried it before. Even agencies that have the mandate to pursue this still believe it cannot work. This is Nigeria. It won't work. You either try to put them under an idea of a temperate climatic condition, put on AC. Where is the money for people like us to survive? And thank God, today, the animals are under the same rain, the same sunshine, and they could give that production, which is first of its kind, at least as far as Nigeria is concerned. Today, they are rushing down to collaborate. That you've seen this success now, and that means it's what the nation could run with. The next slide, please. The next one. Yeah. We have done quite a little, and research is still ongoing, and we have succeeded in working a little, very little, on the animal nutrition, because that seems to be one of the critical challenges. Even though we have discovered that quite a lot of people could get engaged in that. But yet, the focus to produce or improve dairy production in Nigeria needs to combine the breeding and the animal nutrition. And that we are trying to collaborate with quite a number of stakeholders to make sure that the issue of feedlots and the like is improved, and even a lot of youths are engaged in it. What have we done in the recent time is, when we look at this area, we felt for breeding production, smart farms cannot continue to be a loner. And currently, we had been to train artificial inseminators. At least about 20 are on the field currently working. We are involved in a project of producing nothing less than 2,000 crossbreeds in the next 1 year. And we have one of the milk processors supporting with Bill Gates funding in order to get this done across the nation. It seems to be the project on our hands now. And we now realize, instead of giving a bike to that young graduate in order to be able to survive as a means of empowerment, if you support him with just a cattle to make, he can sell that milk on a daily basis, and obviously he's not going to sit down with that cattle. So we have decided to go on empowerment as a corporate social responsibility, liaising quite with a number of stakeholders and make sure that we improve the system. Can we go to the next slide as I round up? There is a big challenge. The challenge, number one challenge, is the way our public sector institutions are run. All of us that are in the private sector knows that access, many a times, to really work out what our dream looks like is a lot of trauma working with the public sector, and we felt we could justify it. It's a question of little time, elaborating, having dialogues like this, we can handle that challenge. The other challenge is the fund, which is very, very critical. Very, very critical. And the third one we have seen is the need for reorientation for an average Nigerian who have the capacity, who have all it takes, but needs a paradigm shift. The next slide, please. Yeah, the potential is still there. I can't overemphasize that. The most popular ever, the potentials are there. Collaborations. You can imagine how many institutions or companies are here today. It's part of the potentials that you can collaborate with and then be able to achieve your dream. We believe the potentials are still there. The next slide, please. But if those challenges are there, truly they are there, but the potentials abide. So for us in Smart Farms, we believe our vision will be realized. So we can. Thank you.
A round of applause for him. Smart Farms Limited. Farmer is king, and that's why he has taken almost 10 minutes, because farmer is king. I grew up in the city of Ibadan, and while I was growing up, there was this jingle on Radio OYO. How many of us know Radio OYO? Radio OYO. So in the morning, there was this jingle in Yoruba. I'll say it in English. You say, Oba Sagbe, Oba Sakowe, Bigilobange Showo, Yala, Wonka Oko, Bale Oja, Iṣẹ́ ni, Níṣẹ́ ni, Ọ̀rẹ́, má tìjú iṣẹ́ rẹ̀, torí iṣẹ́ kìí pani, àìṣe rẹ̀ gan lábùkù. What does that mean? Whether you're a farmer, or you are engaged to sweep the market, or you are a secretary, or indeed you are a slave, whatever your job is, your work is your work. Hard work doesn't kill, but idleness kills. Thank you very much, Smart Farms Limited, for that presentation. Do we have Foliage Academy, please? A round of applause for me. Encourage me too, so that I can do more than this. Thank you very much. Do we have Foliage Academy? So we'll take the next business pitch, and thereafter we'll invite the Dangote Business School representative. Thank you very much. You have less than 5 minutes. Please do that quickly. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. I stand on the existing protocol. Foliage Academy is a school with 3 years and more than 25 years experience. What I'm saying is Foliage Academy was built or was established in September 2015. But we've been in business as far as 1995. In Foliage Academy Abuja, our vision is to be the model faith-based academy nurturing world transformers, and which is why we are set out with our 3 Ds, which is to discover, to distill, and develop the latent potential in every heart, body, and minds of children that passes through our academy in order to make them unique. We are located on plot 990 CRD Amak Layout, FHA, Lugbe, Abuja. Bring your words to hers at Foliage Academy, and we will prepare them for the future and the hereafter. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for managing our time well for us. Well done, Foliage Academy. Time is like a flowing river, and you cannot step in the same water twice. Thank you very much for that. So we now call on the representative of Dangote Business School, Kano. He is the coordinator of MSME support units in the school, in person of Dr. Adams Adeza for his presentation. Please make him welcome.
Thank you so much, sir. How many minutes do you have, sir? 15.
15 minutes. You can do better.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. This is the morning. Good afternoon. It's an honor to have been invited to speak on this event, even though there are a whole lot of things that try to make it impossible for me to be here today. First of all, I never really knew that I was going to be speaking today. I just came to participate in the program, and when they did tell me that I was going to be talking, my laptop started acting up. My brother there is still trying to sort it out for me. But notwithstanding, we teach our students to rise beyond every challenge, to see opportunity in every problem. So I'm going to try to practice what we preach today. So really, what I want to talk about here is a business model that has the potential to transform our SMEs, as it has done in other countries. From the previous speeches that have been made here, I want to tell you all, you guys have been wonderful. I've learned quite a lot. But I think one central theme that cut across all the speeches so far is the issue of partnership, is the issue of collaboration. It is in that sense that I stand here to say that we cannot talk about growing SMEs in Nigeria. Or let me put it this way, if we do really care about growing SMEs in Nigeria, then we need to know about this business model called franchising. I know my Oga from UNIDO knows a lot about this. It's working very well in other countries. And unfortunately for Nigeria, we have not really gotten the right results from the business model. And I think it's high time we started thinking about how we can really promote this business model. Why are we talking about franchising? But before I even go in there, let me ask a simple question. Who has actually started a business in this hall and failed? Anybody? You started and failed. I'm number one, many times. Now, let me ask a question. Those of us that raise up our hand, what can we say is the number one reason why we failed? Haja, can you remember what actually happened? Why your business failed? You were not coordinating things as you should. Oh, okay. Anybody else? Yes, sir. Family involvement. Okay. Sir? Lawless. Loan venture. You were doing it all alone. Sorry, I think.
Like a loan man doing business.
Oh, you were doing it all alone, right? Fantastic. And when you check all these reasons that have been advanced, and I can tell you, franchising as a business model, it's not 100% foolproof, but I can tell you, it can go a long way in helping small businesses to really move forward as they should. Let me quickly point this out. And these are results of empirical research. Franchise businesses survive far longer than independently owned business. In fact, some studies show that roughly why small businesses or independently owned businesses, like 90% die within the first 12 months. Franchise businesses, 85% of them survive for more than 5 years. And the unfortunate thing is that we come here, we talk about technology. Technology is wonderful. All these things that we've been talking about, they are all great. But I tell you, put technology in the wrong business model, you feel like you crash like a pack of cars. So that's why I'm so happy Smart Farm is here talking about collaboration. Backbone Galaxy is here talking about collaboration. And my brother from Lagos is here talking about collaboration. Collaboration too is great, but you need to do the right kind of collaboration. Collaboration with the right incentive. And I can tell you, franchise business model is the way to go. And I'm just looking forward to, I studied in Malaysia, and I had the opportunity to work with the agency that oversee their franchise industry. And I saw how much money they are generating from this industry. Franchising industry in Malaysia alone contribute more than 10% to their annual GDP. And you can cite other countries that have really used this business model to transform their SMEs. And I think there is no better time for Nigeria to think about how we can take our SMEs to the next level than now. Poverty is high, unemployment is high, and we all agree that businesses are ways to turn these negative indicators around. So, of course, if this business model is this wonderful, why is it that we don't know much about it? Yeah, of course, there are three key problems. And I'm happy those three key problems are being addressed right now. Number one is lack of awareness. Most people don't know about it. And that's why I want to commend the organizer of this event for providing a platform where at least we talk about it. We start the conversation, and hopefully the conversation could lead to something much more interesting for everyone. For all the businesses here, please, I think this is the right time. I'm happy you are here. We need to start looking for, like the model you are doing, you are implementing is wonderful. And I can tell you there is a farm in this country that has applied franchising business model. It's called Babangona Farm. They are doing it very well. The way I think we need to talk, there is an element of franchising you can add that will really help you to achieve the result you desire as quick as possible. Secondly, there is lack of institutional support. In most countries where this business model is doing very well, they have specific laws, specific legislation that guide it. I'm happy to say that the franchise bill is right now at the National Assembly. It has passed second reading, and hopefully by the time it is assented into law, the business model will really develop as much as it could be. I like what you said. There is a need for reorientation. For this business model to work in Nigeria, we need to transform our thinking. We need to have a new business culture. This idea of going into a business and thinking it has to be me and me alone, it is not working. It is wrong. We need to think about alliances, partnership that work. My time is up. I'm hoping that when we come back to the panel session, we can talk more about this. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be standing in front of you to talk about this. I wish everybody productive deliberation here. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Please, a round of applause for him. Thank you, Dr. Adams Adeza. He said something very fundamental. The time to start is now. It is said that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is what? Now. So we have to get started now, and we have to do something. We need to stop complaining. Do we have Marquis Concierge in the house? Marquis? Are we ready? Okay. What of Eclipse? Eclipse is not ready? Okay, so Eclipse, you have less than 5 minutes. Let's have your presentation. Please make him welcome. A round of applause for him.
Good afternoon. Eclipse Power operates in the renewable energy sector with special focus on sustainable solutions. We provide independent renewable energy expertise, including solar power, mini hydro, distributed captive power solutions, and advisory solutions. Basically, Eclipse Power provides solutions for any electrical problems you might be facing in your homes or your businesses. The leadership is imbued with a wealth of experience in the energy industry. We participate in various sustainability fora. Our principal executives completed numerous trainings, including certification programs on energy for sustainable developments at the Lund University of Sweden. We engage in solar power systems from homes, offices, street lighting, and portable solar generators for small-scale users. We provide solutions to the complex mix of economic, engineering, social, and governmental issues in renewable energy. We provide the best electrical installations for homes, offices, companies with the best electrical materials. Eclipse Power's energy platform distinguishes us from other energy companies in Nigeria. It draws upon our expertise in the complete energy project lifecycle. This expertise we leverage upon to design, build, finance, and care for your solar or other sustainable energy solutions. Eclipse Power is not only the future, Eclipse Power is the now. Thank you for your time.
Well done, Eclipse Power Solution. Eclipse Power is what? Now. It's not only the future, right? Eclipse Power is now. Well done for that wonderful presentation. Do we have Every Home Emporium? Every Home? Every Home Emporium? Marquis? Okay. Marquis Concierge. While we wait for them, I'd like to inform our panelists to get ready. We are going gradually to the meat of the matter, which is the panelist session. So I'd like to encourage the representative of UNIDO to be ready. U.S. Embassy, African Development Bank, Galaxy Backbone, NIDA, and Night Concert. So I'm also sure that our convener is in the house, so we're getting ready to go into the panel session. So please relax and sit back and enjoy it. It's going to be inspiring and informative. Marquis? They're not ready. So we get set. So we're going into the panel session. From all the business presentations, what I've been able to learn is about focus. The power of focus can never be overemphasized. Focusing on one thing, you keep knocking, you keep doing it. Sometimes you stumble. I listened to one of the presentations that talked about, particularly the smart farms and every other presentation, also from the Moose Call. Three things they were striking. One, they talked about where they are. They talked about their challenges, and they talked about their story. For every business, there is a story. The story of how they started, the story of where they are, the story of where they are going. No matter the number of times you fall to the ground or you stumble, it doesn't matter. That's not failure. Failure is falling to the ground and refusing to stand or rise again. So one thing we should take from all the business presentations is focus. The power of focus can never be overemphasized. The more focused you are, the farther you will go. Thank you very much. So we're going to the panelist session, and I'd like to call, in no particular order, the B2B convener, the B2B Nigeria convener, in person of Dr. Mustafa Kokwola. You're most welcome, sir. Please make him welcome with a resounding round of applause. Like I said, this is B2B Nigeria National Economic Dialogue 2019, and this is the fourth of its kind. Also, I would like to invite the representative of Galaxy Backbone, in person of Mr. Chidi Okpala. If he's around, please make your way to the podium. Thank you very much. A round of applause for him. Also, the representative of Night Concert. Please make him welcome. Please, a resounding round of applause for him. The representative of the Dangote Business School, Kano. The representative of UNIDO, please, a resounding round of applause for them. The representative of NIDA, Mr. Chidi Okpala, you are invited to this part of the hall. The representative of NIDA, the National Information Technology Development Agency. UNIDO, AFDB, All right, thank you very much, sir, and you're most welcome. So we have all our panelists, and we are ready to start. Are we ready? Are we ready? Let me get the response. Are we ready? Good. I'd like to hand over to Dr. Mustafa Kukbola, who is the B2B Nigeria convener. He's going to lead the panelist session while we're listening on, and thereafter, we're all going to ask questions to keep the conversation going. Thank you very much. A round of applause for me, and for yourself too. All right.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think this is actually the dialogue period, and like he mentioned, this is going to be the meat of on the rice we've been cooking since anyway, if I may say that. I stand on the existing protocol and permits us to allow the UNIDO representative to be operating from his base there because I think it's more comfortable. Then the other panelists are here for you. Yes, they've been saying a lot of things this morning. Let me set it straight to us again. We said digitizing the SME space. We make it a bit short. Our intention is to talk about, you know, there is difference between digitizing and digitization. So there is difference between the two, and we actually choose the word digitizing because we want an action. And again, we said of SME space, not really of SME space but in its entirety. Our focus is on ease of doing business that the government is actually talking about. I just make an assertion when I was outside granting a press interview now, that there's no way you actually want to ease business for young people if you don't leverage technology. All the time, when I was actually doing my PhD, there was a day I was in the university, and I can see like nothing less than 50 young chaps, both guys and ladies, at the bus stop. I was the only old school member of that bus stop that day. Do you know what I noticed? All of them was with their phone like this. And at the same time, they were putting on earpiece. I look around, I said, where's my own earpiece? You understand? And it got to a point that I said, no, it's like there's no way you want to separate these guys from their phones. I checked many of their phones. Some of their phones can buy 3 of mine. And they are all undergrads. I mean in a Nigerian university, for that matter. So meaning that there is a connection already existing between phone and human being. We can't separate that. Now, how can we leverage that kind of connection to impact businesses? That's number one. Then we are looking at what are the basic parameters that we need to know in this country in terms of analyzing our own business in our own way. For example, if you leverage some applications from the United States, depending on the interest of the government at any point in time, that is what inform the type of development they will do in that app. So because you want that solution, many times you just download it. You can see that a lot of these applications are even dollarized. So depending on what you are doing again, if I'm converting my dollar at 365 with our own economy that is not stable in terms of currency, and you are doing the same thing, and you are using 360, are we going to get the same result? So do we have some apps that are Naira denominated for Nigerian businesses? Is this something that is feasible? I've seen this about 5 years ago in Kenya, where you have many of their apps being denominated in their shillings. And they will be telling you this is Kenya shillings. You are banned, if you are coming from abroad, to convert from dollar or your currency to shillings, not the other way around. So these are fundamental things. Now looking at the infrastructure government said we have in this country, and we believe with all these agencies, we see it as national assets. If they are national assets, are they meant only for public space, or they are meant for Nigerians that are practicing in the private sector? Because all we have been saying is that we've been doing this with public, MDA, this, that. Are we not Nigerians? Are we having some shield from this national asset, or they are not meant for us? So if they are meant for us, what is going to be our point of interface? Because we need this asset now. Some of us, we said we are not feeling safe with our data
because when you send your email, it's either you are using Google, Gmail. If you are using Gmail, it will firstly go to the United States before it will come to the next person sitting down beside you. Because the database for Gmail is somewhere there, so we are not feeling safe. Those are part of the issue. So can we have something like that? Even if it's only for the enterprise or the business or SME ecosystem, whereby we are interfacing within the country and we know what we are doing. Let me give you this example. The last time I visited the United States, we're trying to do I'm trying to make a particular contact in China. And when you are in that part of the United States where I was, let me say generally, or you are on any of their university internet system, there are some sites in China you will not have access to. It's deliberate between the United States and China because of technology and some other things. Now, if you are in this part of the world, you might even have a situation whereby you can access some things because definitely maybe they know you cannot even go deep to understand what you are talking about. But we are talking about sites where they know that, okay, if you are accessing this from the United States, then you are going to have access to XYZ. The same thing is happening between China to US too. So there are barriers. Now, if you have that kind of a barrier, it's leading to limitation in what you can access in terms of information. Now, as a country, what is our plan around this? How are we going to compute GDP without looking at data from the SME sector? The data from SME sector, where are they coming from? So these are the things I want us to look at generally. And I believe that the best way to go, even to make ease of doing business to be easy, is for us to make sure that at least we are able to digitize some of our information. And if you are looking at issue of tax, we are talking about 5 trillion, thereabouts, in this country now. And I want to believe government can earn more. Why? If your tax is being automated or linked to your businesses, from the data that you have, and it is something that you can prove anywhere, not what you went to government to go and submit to FIRS, then definitely government can earn more. I don't need to go to FIRS office. The same thing in many other sectors. If I need to pay for PENCOM, when it is my annual, when it's a year that I need to renew, automatically something deducts it. So I need not to run around to pay annual returns to CAC. So, but as of today, it is when I choose to. If I choose not to, nobody cares. So are we doing businesses with all what we are talking? Because again, he said one of the solutions that is general now is that you can register a business with 5,000 naira, for example, a business name. Is that not? But somebody that will do that must have an access to the digital world, because you cannot pack paper and everything that goes to CAC. They expect you to do it right away from an interface that is ICT driven, and these are the group of over 60 million SMEs, whereby more than 80% of them cannot have interface with ICT. So is that a solution for the SME? So these are things we need to check. So that's going to be my starting point, Mr. Moderator. And I want to believe that our agencies of government can actually speak to that. Thank you.
All right, please, a round of applause for him. Thank you very much, Dr. Mustafa, for that perspective. I'd like to go to the representative of NICOMSAT. Can we have your views or perspective too around all the issues of digitizing the economy, the SMEs, around ease of doing business in the next 2 minutes?
Thank you very much. Just as I said in my presentation, Nigeria decided to invest huge amount in space technology. The advantage of satellite communication is the coverage, the ease of deployment. So Nigeria as a country can leverage on this great infrastructure, which is grossly underutilized, to provide connectivity in remote areas that cannot be reached by terrestrial network. Because irrespective of how much the terrestrial network will try, there are places that they cannot lay fiber to. And interestingly, this is where the bulk of our SMEs are. We don't expect every SME, somebody want to start a small business that want to leverage on IT and digitization and use data and connectivity should leave his village or leave his remote area to town, there will be serious rural-urban migration. So government can put a policy that will bring this connectivity to remote areas where these SMEs are operating. And with this, a lot of ease of doing business will automatically spring up as a result of these connectivities that will be available in remote areas where terrestrial network, fiber optics cannot go. Just as we made example of Google in Abuja, because they have to partner with a fiber company to do that. Now the same thing, government can partner with Night Concert, which is their own asset, to now take this thing to remote areas where these SMEs are. And in that way, they will be able to stimulate the digitization process. Thank you.
Please, a round of applause for him. All right, thank you very much, sir, for that view. I will now move on to Mr. Chidi Opala of Galaxy Backbone. Based on your presentation, you've said a lot about what you've done in the digital space and what you're doing. I would like to ask, what are the digital tools or platforms available for the SMEs to quickly plug into? As we are talking about the digitizing, what are those tools available that you have deployed or developed, and how do you think they can plug into that for profitability?
All right, thank you very much. What we have done in Galaxy Backbone is to try and provide platforms that would enable, we call ourselves technology enablers. So what we've tried to do is provide platforms that would help enable the customers that we serve. For a couple of years, Galaxy Backbone's focus has been government, and understandably right, because that was the institution that set us up. But over the years, over the last 3 to 4 years, we have evolved as an organization, and we have seen that we have a huge infrastructure. You talked about the data center that we have that is currently being underutilized. And we've said, how can we reach out to other segments of the market, which includes the SME space? So the SME space is an integral part of the future of our business in Galaxy Backbone. And what we have done for these for this part of the nation is, when we provided a platform where some of these SME organizations can come and host their data for a particular amount. But then for those who are developing applications, we have what we now call the legacy data center, which is still at our head office in Wuse 2. The plan for that data center going forward is to help small businesses, right? To help small application developers, people who are looking for ways to develop applications that will help their businesses, to come and use that place as a hub to test the applications, right? So it's going to be some type of CSR that we are going to be giving to some of these small businesses, so that it will help them come, look at those your applications, get help from some professionals that we have within the organization, so that they can help guide you in terms of your business. That's one. The second one we've also done is that we've gone back to how we started as an organization. We have been providing networks and internet connectivity for organizations for years. And what we have tried, a lot of people have accused of costs, that it's quite expensive. And I think it was last year or 2 years ago, we sat down and reviewed the prices. And we saw that in some areas where our prices were high, maybe because proper research wasn't done in that aspect. But we've come out of that, and we've done our own market intelligence to actually see how can we provide these services at affordable cost for some of these businesses. So we've created some small services, right, which we are going to be releasing in the next couple of weeks and months for the SME space, where we can provide connectivity services for them at different rates in terms of how they want it. And this will not just be in Abuja, but in all those other areas where we have our fiber and where we can provide the ELT for them, for most of these organizations. So these are some of the things that we are doing for this particular part. Thank you.
Please, a round of applause for Chidi. All right. Thank you very much, Chidi, for your talks. Now, I'd like to move on to Dr. Adams Adeza, the coordinator of SME support unit from the Dangote Business School. Who, the other time Chidi was talking, he talked a lot about security of businesses. You know, when you talk about digitizing, there has to be a lot of your online presence is key, and the technology, you have to be available 2/4/7. That's one. Number two is talking about digitizing. There are a lot of technology platforms that we've talked about, but all of these things they come with their tremendous benefits. However, there are risks associated with them in terms of implementing. Before you implement, when you implement, and during the process, because there are a lot of issues around. There are a lot of issues around disaster recovery and risk management. So, as a business school, how will you advise an SME to approach digitizing their business process to ensure profitability and to ensure sustainability?
Okay, let me have this. Okay, thank you so much, moderator. I think as far as you know, how we advise SMEs to go about digitizing their economy, their businesses. I think when you look at the core services that we offer, we render as a business school, we basically prepare tomorrow SMEs or existing SMEs to improve their profitability and performance in all measures. We have specific courses, you know, that are certificated. Others are not, are just workshops that, you know, from time to time, we invite SME owners to come and listen to new trends in businesses. And one of those things is the issue of technology. About 2 weeks ago, even though ASU is on strike, we tried to invite a group of young, you know, tech-based entrepreneurs to come and share ideas as to how they can leverage on the power of digitalization to move their businesses forward. I think as far as security of data that you mentioned is concerned, it's not my expertise, but what we do is also not the expertise of the business school. What we do essentially is to improve the capacity of these SME owners, you know, show them the trend, show them what is happening, current technology, you know, show them what they really need to know, you know, to be able to compete with their, you know, competitors, not just in Nigeria, in other part of the world. Well, let me just quickly say something about ease of doing business for SMEs. I think when we're talking about ease of doing business, which of course try to connect it to what we're doing at the business school to help. You know, when we're talking about ease of doing business, we're talking essentially about three things. We're talking about the time it takes for a particular business to get things done. For instance, to get license, to get permits for construction, to get business registered, to get credit, and so on and so forth. Then the second thing is the procedures. If it takes, you know, half a day in Singapore to register a business, and it takes, you know, almost 5 or 10 days to get the same thing done in Nigeria or any part of the world, businesses in Singapore are going to be much more competitive, and they'll be able to contribute more value. And then the top thing is the amount, what it costs small businesses to get some of these things done. Talk about small businesses getting technology. I like the fact that my colleague from Galaxy Backbone said they are going to be launching a lot of initiatives that will, you know, that are going to be more pocket friendly for SMEs to access some of this challenge. I'm happy with that, and I hope we'll be able to, you know, leverage on some of those things to scale that not just in Abuja or Lagos, because we have a big problem in this country. When it comes to digitalization and technology generally, the country is divided into two, south and the north. If you go up north, some of the things that we're enjoying down here from Abuja downward, you know, we don't, they are like strange, they are very strange to us. Some of us don't even know them. So I don't know if Galaxy Backbone has any plan to extend its presence up north. There's huge potential there. There's a lot of market for some of the things that you're doing, and I think you should really take measures to exploit those potential. So again, the cost has to be. I would advise that the Galaxy Backbone and other technology support services in Nigeria should constantly review their prices. They don't even have to wait for people to complain. So that, because those are some of the bottlenecks that SMEs face in accessing some of these very wonderful assets to move their businesses forward. So for us at the business school, we try to connect our students, especially at the graduate level, and some SME owners that come from the city to visit us, to organizations like this. You have this challenge, this is where you should go. You have this challenge in terms of deploying technology to move your business forward. This is the company you should contact, and we have been doing that wonderfully well, and we hope we'll continue to do some of those things. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Adams, for that wonderful thought. I would like to take this back to the audience. I'm sure a lot of things will be going on our minds about how do we do it. The how is key. But before I do that, I will also want to take the thoughts of the UNIDO representative. I would like to take the mic to him for him to give us his thoughts around what we need to do going forward to get to where we need to be in terms of the digital economy. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Hello? Yeah, thank you very much. I think this topic is very important. For UNIDO, one is that we are going to bring our expertise globally to leverage in whatever we are doing in Nigeria. And first of all, I think in our first line of country program, I mentioned that we are looking at the issue of policy. And I believe digitalizing the economy or SME space, we need to back it up with strong policy. And if we don't have strong policy backed up, we cannot achieve whatever we plan. That means Nigerian government has to give strong policy to support digitalization of SME space. In the rural area, I'm happy Galaxy Backbone just mentioned this. And for me, I think we would like to partner with you, at least to support some of the centers we're having. And another thing is the skill. Capacity building. You may have all the infrastructures and everything, but if the SMEs operators don't have the skill, it won't work. So we are going to embark on capacity building, using the right curriculum to expose SMEs to the right technology and the use of those technology for business processes. And if we are able to do that, we can also look at maybe work with government to look at available infrastructure. Federal government invests money in Galaxy Backbone. The CSR, I think when we talk about digitalization, we should look beyond having a center in Abuja. You should develop a system where people can log in from anywhere, not only to come to your center in Abuja, to be able to use their smartphone to access whatever information you have at your center and to utilize it very well. So for me, key things, one is the capacity, another one is the policy. So if we can do that and give the people the right skill and then have the right policy to back up, I think we are in for it, and we have a lot. Wait.
Please, a round of applause for him. All right, thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful. The how to go about it is being able to build it hard for us. The first thing is to have a strategic direction, which is a policy statement that will tell us how to go and what to do. Without much ado, I'd like to take this back to the audience. I know a lot of things might be running on our minds about what is this digital economy, what's about platform, what are the tools, how do I need to go about it, what is the end result, what are the challenges, what are the risks associated with it, and how we are going to come out of it. So I would like to ask us whether, if we have questions, we can take, let's signify, and I'll take numbers so that we'll come one after the other to ask our question. We can direct our questions to any of our panelists, and I'm sure they are very competent to take on those questions. I'll take that from number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, going, 11, going, 12, going, gone. All right, thank you very much. I should take it. All right, 13, right? 12. Okay, all right, thank you very much. So let's come to this part. I'll bring it back to us. So number 1, please. Let's make it as brief as possible to save our time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. My name is ESV Abdulaziz Olabode. I'm an essay surveyor and valuer. First of all, let me appreciate all what we have been getting from our those that have been talking to us so far. Thank you very much. We really appreciate your discussions. My question goes to the representative of NICOMSAT. From what I can pick from your speech, you said you have the facilities there, and it is underutilized. But the problem is most of these SMEs, even as close I am to your office along Airport Road there, we don't have most of this information at our doorstep. So how can we be getting, how do you intend to, educate the masses about most of these facilities so that people can tap into it? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much for that question. So, representative of NICOMSAT, you can give your response.
Thank you very much. There is generally, what people need to understand is that NICOMSAT and education satellite technology is quite expensive. And that is why you see I highlighted in my presentation that government is the one that invested in NICOMSAT. And it is government policy, just like the UNIDO representative has said, it's the government policy that we deliberately now said, well, NICOMSAT build a hub around so place so that SMEs will benefit from it. Just like I said, if you go to Wuse Market, go to Banex Plaza, just next door here, you can get free Google station. That is the same thing that the government can do. But as an individual, it's very difficult for you to subscribe to NICOMSAT services because satellite technology, honestly, is on the expensive side for SMEs. Let us be factual. But government can deliberately, because of stimulating this digitization process, can select where we provide, and it's just a matter of pointing to that satellite which is in the orbit. Within few hours, there will be connectivity. But it is something that government has to take that responsibility to make it affordable to the people. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Mr. Chidi wants to give an opinion on that.
Okay, thank you for your question. I remember in my presentation I talked about underutilization of the infrastructure that we have, right? And so your question is, what are we doing in terms of how do we reach out so that we can, in some level, optimize the infrastructure that we have? And I'll say this, we are doing a lot of engagement. We accept the fact that we haven't done a lot of awareness in the last couple of years. And it's something that from last year we started to do, to engage a lot of organizations, to let them become first even aware that of this facility. Because what we found out in some of the fora that we've attended is that when we begin to present our slides and say we have X, Y, Z, some people even get upset and say, okay, so it means you have all these things and you're just keeping it in your coffers and nobody's saying anything. And you know, at that point we have to apologize and say, maybe because of one reason or the other, maybe because we are government, maybe that's why this happens. But we are learning from that, we have learned from that. And we are doing a lot of engagement. We have a lot of plans to engage SMEs this year. I can assure you that workshops planned, we have a lot of events planned, we have a lot of roadshows planned, we have a lot of advertisement that we want to do to reach out so that people get to know that these things are there. There's now also this aspect of how much is it going to cost? Is it going to probably be more expensive and things like that? So some of the things that we are doing is that if we are laying fiber optics across the country, right? And we know that we cannot be everywhere at the same time. So we are looking for partners within some of those locations where we do not have presence, right? Where we do not have physical presence, and we can partner with them. I'll give you a classical example. Someone came to us, I think it was a school or so, and said, okay, come, he has a school somewhere towards Lokoja. And he said, where I have that location, there are a couple of other schools as well. There are a couple of other small businesses as well. Can you come and mount your infrastructure here so that from here we can serve these particular areas? And we thought that was great. That was novel. And we've taken him up on that. So we have a couple of initiatives like that, and we have a lot of plans like that to see how we can breach that barrier. But I want to say it's going to be a journey. It's a journey for us. And but one assurance I can give you is that we are committed to it, and we would like to partner with organizations who are willing to partner with us so that we can get these services across to these organizations. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'd like to encourage our panelists to make our comments very brief to save our time, please. Thank you.
I actually want to say that please let's make it brief because of our time, both from the question point and the answer point. That's number one. And from the last speech he made now, I think we are actually getting closer to speak to why we are here as an SME. I actually want to know what each of these organizations can bring to table. Don't tell us about what government has asked you to be doing or what you have been doing alone. We have a problem to solve collectively. The SMEs are on this side, you are on this side. How do we come to an interface and agree on something? We have at the platform, B2B platform is there for over 100 CEOs across the globe that are pure members. We have other people that are just friends, we have visitors, we have a lot of them. All of them are playing in this space. We cannot have an infrastructure like that of NICOMSAT, gigantic like that, I don't know how many billion, and it's sitting somewhere. Why some millions of people are suffering because of this? We can't have Galaxy backbone, and there's no backbone for our business data. So those are facts of the issue. Okay, what is going to be our outcome here? We have 3, 4, 5 of us that are discussing this. We must leave this place with a solution. That is the bottom line. If we are not having a solution, we are not going. We must tell ourselves what we are coming up with in terms of enterprise solution that is SME friendly. That is the bottom line. The UNIDO is actually watching us, so they will know where they are coming in. But really, implement us for our own country. They will not say they want to come and do this for you. UNIDO will not come and build your NICOMSAT. They will not instruct Galaxy Backbone on what to do. Are you getting it? And for the business school, since we are actually like an academy, there's going to be a lot of interface, particularly a lot of people have been asking for our B2B platform to be extended to the north. So we actually we may be leveraging on Dangote Business School to see what we can do with the business ecosystem in Kano going forward. So like we're saying that we're going to have Greeners Up 2 in Lagos by mid-2019, God's willing. By
By June, at most, we want to start up that, and that was why we are leveraging UNIDO for the SME Center of Excellence. If you are able to provide the infrastructure and the space, then to leverage the resources globally will not be an issue. So that's going to be like a shared cost. Can we leverage again on Dangote Business School in Kano to service our clients in the north so that they can actually enjoy what Abuja and enjoying? That's our thinking generally. So as we move on, I just want us to, I'm being on your side to raise some of these questions. Because before they will here today, we must agree on something. Is that not what you are saying? Is that what we want? And then fine. So question 2, 1 minute, question 1 minute answer, please.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Mustafa. Number 2, please, you come forward. Number 2, please come forward. Please come forward. So how do we connect Nigeria to the rest of the world?
Thank you very much. Thank you. I have no doubt in my mind that greater good is going to come out of the B2B Nigeria dialogue. As with all great things, at the time of inception, people around don't see the greatness in that thing until years later. Sadiq Abdulhafiz, I'm of Eclipse Power, where our thrust is to democratize power. And in doing that, we have a plan using technology to deploy systems across Nigeria. And I want to be very practical in my question to both NIGECOMSAT and Galaxy Backbone. In this deployment, we want to have a tracking system in all the units. And as we also were discussing with insurers, and insurers also prefer to have a tracker in every system, similar to what we have for vehicles. If we go ahead with this, what solutions can Galaxy or NIGECOMSAT provide to us as an SME, knowing full well that we are SME in the real sense of the word? What part of the technology can you provide, whether in the immediate or in the near future? And I want to just quickly add that whenever government intervenes in solving a problem, it is not for profit.
Along the road can have gadgets that does not require human being to follow a crime or a particular crimes before you track them. Is that what's happened in our own country? The convener has been talking about farming in everywhere. Sometimes when you want to go into that project, the first thing that will come to your mind is, if I farm in the area, what about the kidnappers? So, and that is why the issue of security now coming. So my first and foremost, NIGECOMSAT and the backbone, because backbone is a small word. When you say backbone, it means a lot. So are we not there that we have in Nigeria where we rely only on foot soldier before we can have security, and our soldiers are being killed day in, day out? What are the digital world doing? Because without security, no business. That's one. Then secondly, franchise. You have a good presentation, but the concept of franchise, we've not understand it. I don't know whether I'm the only one. So we need to understand the concept of what franchise is all about.
All right, thank you. I would like to emphasize again that we should respect time, respect the audience, and respect the time. Please, let's be brief and go straight to the point. Number 4.
Thank you so much. I want to thank Dr. Pupola for this wonderful meeting. Now, I just want to what the second questionnaire said. It's obvious that there's a need for awareness of what NASCOM is doing, Galaxy Backbone is doing. And it's also obvious that they cannot do it alone. So there's a need for partnership. Maybe from this meeting, we have to develop a plan, how to work together with them on how to bring most of the things they have at their disposal to the public view. And in doing that, there's also a need to connect with government. And I just want to relate on what you said the other time, that if we do it right, issue of tax, it will raise the tax base of government. We need to get government to understand this so that in the area of making, as he said the other time, it will come up with a policy that will be robust and sustainable that will help the SMEs. So that's the comment I want to make. Then to my question now to you, I want to thank you so much for that presentation and what you are doing for SMEs. But my question is this: what system did you put in place apart from the collaboration you are having with universities, with other corporate bodies about your trainings? What is the kind of system you put in place to draw people to benefit from your training? Take for example, I'm an SME operator in Oyo State, in a very remote area of Oyo State, and I discover I need training in one of the areas that you are trying to develop. How can I come into that kind of training?
Thank you very much. And number 5. 5.
Thank you. I think mine might not really be a question, and I probably will lean on what he had said. I think the two major agencies that we're really facing today that has to do with digitalization may begin to think from here how you are going to have engagement model apart from the conventional ones. I want to talk as a development practitioner in such a way that I know in Japan there exists the best development screening window all over the world that I know in Japan, because they screen out what they don't want to come into the system, no matter how advanced ICT could be. And it is what they want you to see or access that you do. Again, for this advocacy we are talking about, I think we will engage beyond the SMEs alone too, in order to go ahead with the message. Particularly if we can come up with a pilot model. You are telling us, okay, you can do these services. Can you engage about 20, 30, 40 of the SMEs? Make a cluster. Test run with them. And then you can begin to use that one to advocate so that people may understand, knowing fully well that some of us are born before computer, BBC. So, but if you do it that way, people will easily key in and they find it, and then we probably might be on the track. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for that. Number 6, 7, 8. Number 6.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the convening of this program. My name is Bello Ademola. I work I'm a co-founder of a business development solution company, Rafa Nelly, precisely. Thank you very much for this. My question goes to the school, business schools. The first thing is, I understand that we are trying to put forward a platform. If you are putting on a platform, definitely some people are out there that want to make use of the platform to manufacture a product. We that works in the business development service, I am working on a project recently, and I realized that getting the target market is quite difficult. So from my research, I go into the early buyers, the early market buyers. And these early market buyers are found around those that develop innovation technologies. And these are most of your students. There are some characteristics, there are some character we are expecting from them, which is the buying pattern. You are inventing something. Definitely, as an inventor, you need to patronize somebody to get what you are doing well. Precisely. In addition, it even created a competitive advantage for you. The device I'm working on is precisely for smart users, that's smartphone users. But while doing this research, I realized that the remote control itself is also a market for some people. So that means that in technology, as you say, there are wide opportunity in it. Last month, I was opportuned to read happened in South Africa through the Dambata program in South Africa. And there I saw a lot of opportunities that Nigerians, we have over 16% of smartphone users are innovation technology adopters. There are these people that are inventing and they are leveraging on this platform. So what education are you putting on in terms of buying pattern, in terms of business solutions in the business schools of ICT?
All right, thank you very much. Number 7. Number 8, close. Okay. Okay. All right. So number 7. Number 7, just stay very close. So let's the convener. Can we go that way? We have 6 already. 5. We have 5 questions already. So, but let's make our responses to be short. Okay, number 7, please come. So after number 7, so we'll take our responses, then we'll take the next set of questions. All right, thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mesha.
Let me just say this. Yes, we are going to take the 6 questions now, take another 6. But what is more important is that the panelists, we're going to lead them to the exhibition stand after the O section, where you can sit down one-on-one with them. And the exhibitors, you can actually interact with them. So the discussion continues at the exhibition stand even till 5 to 6 o'clock. So you don't have time limitation to engage one-on-one. But for the sake of this official engagement and the live streaming we are doing, we are actually watching time to make sure that at least latest by 2 o'clock we are out of this place. So we can take that engagement, exchange card, contact, even personal questions that we might not have opportunity to. So please, it is really a dialogue. As we are leaving this place, we are getting back to that place. You can sit there and relax. We can still use this place to do our engagement, private engagement. It's paid for the whole of the day. So you don't have a challenge to rush. But for the question, let's make it snappy so that the live streaming can come into a conclusion and we know we have ended the session, then the dialogue still continues. Thank you.
My name is Meshak Owolabi. I'm the managing director of Tycoon Concept. I'm a web developer. Thanks to Dr. Popoola and the B2B Nigeria family for putting this together. And thanks every big institution that I've attended